Like they say, rain, sleet, snow, or shine, right? Well, we're going to count on the Lord to continue to bless this day, to keep it cool and dry. Thank you all for coming out this morning. Still waiting on those of you near the parking lot to come to the other side of the gazebo, please. All right, I'm Alan Moore. I am the chair of the Greenwood County Democrats. Welcome this morning to our monthly meeting. As always, we're going to start with a moment of silence on behalf of our country and our community. So if we could observe a moment of silence. Amen. And the next thing we're going to do is start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I know you're eating. I hate to have you put your plates aside and stand, but we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Here in Greenwood, as we say the pledge and we get to the last lines, justice for all, we emphasize the for all. And in our current political environment, I think that's the most important part that we can say about this pledge, right? So if you would please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. This morning we are blessed to have several candidates come out and share their vision with us. Number one, in this political environment, in this very red state, it is hugely important that we have people that are willing to stand up on our behalf and run for office. So first of all, I'd like for us to give an applause to all of the candidates for being a part of this process and being here today. If we could have a round of applause for the candidates. We're doing something a little differently this year, something we intend to continue in each of the years following. This morning's stump meeting is an opportunity for people from the top of the ticket right on down to the most local election to stand before you and help you put a name to a face and understand who we're asking you to support at the polls, both in the primary and in the general election. There's going to be a parade of speakers coming before you today. If you didn't get your little speaker scorecard, there's a little white card that you should have gotten when you came through the registration table. This is intended to help you keep track of the folk that impress you, that you want to support, both with your donations and with your influence with your friends, and obviously with your vote. So if you didn't get one of these, let us know. We'll get one to you. But that's what it's intended to do. We're going to keep the speeches moving. I'll probably be the longest one up here. And then we'll have each of the candidates coming from the other races. There's a couple of things I want to say. A lot of people say our votes don't matter, our votes aren't important. To that I ask you, would they be working so hard to suppress your vote if your vote didn't matter? We've got a state that was in the midst of voting that just suspended everything so they could go back and rig the maps some more. But here's the beauty of it all. Rigging maps does nothing more than says where you're going to vote. If you still go vote, we can take their very same rigged maps and hang them with their own foolishness. Don't be discouraged. Don't let your neighbors, your friends, and the people who you trust be discouraged. The only way our votes won't count is if we don't cast them. So we got to get to the polls. The second thing I want to remind you of, the power of the people. How many of you are familiar with Shedeur Sanders? Put them up if you're familiar with Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, for those of you who don't know, was an outstanding college ball player. His daddy just happened to be Deion Sanders, who some people like and some people don't. And when he came in the NFL, they decided, we're going to humble this young man. We're not going to draft him where he should have been drafted. We're going to put him on a team and face every obstacle that we can put in front of him to see how he responds and overcomes. To his credit, he stood on his faith and his work ethic. But more importantly, all of the internet aunties, uncles, cousins, nephews, and brothers and sisters had his back. You don't want to draft him. You don't want to pay him. We'll buy his jerseys and pay him that way. You want to beat him down. We're sitting here cheering him on. And we have watched as a nation as that man has overcome adversity with the support of all the rest of us who are like, we see this, we don't like this, and we don't think that's right. We've got a bunch of candidates that are in that very same spot right now. They may not be the best funded candidates, but it ain't about money. It's about people that vote and actually go to the polls. And in the absence of money, that's where our influence can make the difference. So just like those internet aunties embrace Shedeur, we need to embrace our candidates. And I'm encouraging you to do that. And it's not just enough that you do it. You've got to make sure your friends and family does it as well. This is going to be a race about influence, and we need to exert our influence. The final thing I will say about the power of a group making up its mind that this isn't right and we don't stand for it, look what happened with Target. One of the biggest companies in the nation felt like DEI was something they could play around with and decide, well, the orange person doesn't like it anymore, so we're just going to scrap that. And what happened to Target? We scrapped them. That CEO lost his job. They've lost sales, and they're still not recovering. They're still trying to recover from that. All because the people said, you can do what you want to do when you're in power, but that doesn't mean we have to like it. And we can vote with our pocketbooks. So the same thing is true here. Don't be alarmed. Don't be put off by the seeming power, influence, and money from the other side. It all comes down to us mobilizing and getting to those polls and taking our friends and family with us. All right?